King. There's only one man other than Elvis that has this distinct name, and that's Arnold Palmer. The North Course here at Myrtle Beach National is one of Mr. Palmer's best designs. This course will entice and lure you into trying any kind of shot that you would never even think about at any other course. I'm going to show you today how to manage and think your way around the golf course. Not only here at Myrtle Beach National, the North Course, but your home course, as well as any other course that you tee it up at. So sit tight. School's now in session, right here on Links Illustrated.
From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, welcome to Links Illustrated with your host, Hugh Royer.
Here at the 12th hole, the King's Course at Myrtle Beach National. What a gorgeous par 3. As you can see, it's an island green, sits out in the middle of the pond. You look at it and you go, oh my. This hole right here is the state hole of South Carolina. What I want to show you today, when you stand on a hole like this, many people will panic. I mean, you see the island green, and it's a huge piece of real estate sitting out in the middle of that pond. But the front of the green has kind of a false front. The right-hand side has kind of a false side to it where if the ball hits, it'll kind of roll down and can roll off into the water. Very similar to TPC and Sawgrass. The island hole, the 17th hole, played there in the Players Championship, and you get on that hole and you're scared to death because you sit eye level there, where here we're slightly elevated, which makes it able to see the green, not quite as intimidating. But there, the tendency is you look at it and you just see a small little sliver out in the lake. My biggest key when I played there was I'd get up there and instead of panicking and worrying about I've got to hit the green and I'm worried about where the ball's going to go, I would get behind the ball and find an old divot, which I've done here. As you can see, there's an old divot right here in front of my ball to help me aim. So when I take my practice swing, it's back and through nice and smooth, and then I'd come back, get behind the ball, and then my focal point is where I want to try to swing over. I want the ball to travel over. If you do that, it kind of gives your focus more of on the spot and the direction you want to go instead of the outcome of where the ball's going to be. So I'm going to set up here, right over the ball. I've got my focal point over the divot here, nice and smooth. And on the green. So now I have the opportunity to make a birdie, make par, and move on to the next one. Remember, if you get in a situation where you don't like what you're aiming at or what you're trying to hit your ball to, focus on something just in front of the ball to help you aim, and that way you make your swing and allow the result to happen and not worrying about the outcome, you worry about the process. Holy smokes, where am I? At the British Open? Wow, what a bunker. Look at the face of this thing. I mean, I'm 6 foot and this is taller than I am. Ball's in the bunker and the pin, this is crazy. But this is really awesome, and it's really not that difficult of a shot. If you will trust the technique that I'm about to show you and trust your wedge that you bought to do the work for you, this won't be that big of a deal. Your sand wedge has been designed with bounce and with loft, this being my lob wedge, a 58 degree. So I've got the necessary amount of loft to make this shot work, obviously by opening the face, but utilizing the bounce of the club is what makes bunker shots easy. Again, it's the easiest shot in golf. It's the one shot you never actually have to hit the ball. So we're going to allow the sand and the club to do the work for us when we play this particular shot. So to set up here, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to open my feet, but I'm going to get my stance fairly wide. I've got to make sure I've got a base so I can stabilize my lower body and allow my hands and arms to work separately without a lot of leg movement. I want a consistent angle of attack to be able to hit this shot up in the air and high and soft. So with my feet being wider, I'm going to actually make my knees wider where they're over my shoelaces. My weight's going to be on my left side, 60% left, 40% right. So I feel pressure on my left foot. I'm going to open the face. You can see I've opened this face considerably so that I can get down under to pop the ball straight up so that this wall doesn't get me. You dig your feet in, your knees are wide. You see my stance is wider than normal. A lot of people get in the bunker and they get narrow. That creates a lot of leg movement. We're trying to eliminate leg movement. This shot is done strictly by your hands, your arms, and your upper body, and you control the distance by the speed you swing your arms. So when you set up in here, you want 60% of your weight left, 40% right, wide knees, and the club is going to hinge directly up. We want this club to work steep to steep. It doesn't work steep going shallow because that's just going to throw the ball right into the face. Same thing by going shallow, shallow, and trying to scoop it up. We're actually going to go steep. We're going to slam the heel of the sand wedge into the sand to pop the ball straight up. To do so, now I'm going to set left, the face is open, knees wide, club's going to hinge straight up. And it'll come out every time. But remember, allow this club to bounce and allow it to work. If you try to manipulate it and try to create something that is unnecessary, you're not going to like the result.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by MyrtleBeachGolf.com, golfers' #1 resource for everything Myrtle Beach Golf.
Talked about golf course management and how to play smart and how to give yourself the best opportunity to score. Well, standing here on the Gambler hole on Kings North at Myrtle Beach National, you're going to say, well, you hit it on the island. Well, I did. But the reason I hit it out here on the island was from the tee. We only had 235 to 40 yards to right here in the fattest part of this fairway. On this hole right here, even on the island here, it's wider than what it is to the right over here. It just made sense. I hit a hybrid, put it out here in the middle of the fairway. Going the other side to the right of the water and the right of the island, I would have had to hit a driver to try to go up and get it up there far enough, but I still couldn't reach the green. Well, from here, even though I only hit a hybrid off the tee and I only hit it 240 yards, I've only got 217 yards to the flag. I've got 200 yards to the front of the green, so it makes sense. I mean, I've got a chance to give myself a shot at making eagle, if not making a birdie. So, you know, it was worth the so-called gamble, okay? So that's the whole purpose. But as you can see here, as we stand in the fairway, and I look at the green, you can see the cross ties in the lake and the bunker on the left. It can be somewhat intimidating to the eye. But what I would like for you to understand is, behind the back left, the lake comes in very close. But to the right, you can see I have a bunker, I have a big mound in the back, so I've got a backstop if I take it into the center, to the right center of this green. There's no use in taking an unwarranted chance to try to knock this ball close. If I can put it on the green and give myself 30 feet, maybe I make a 30-footer, maybe I don't, but I two-putt and make 4 and get out of here. So now I've got a 3-iron, I've got 217 yards, slight breeze. It's not too bad to where it should affect it too much. We're gonna aim it just to the right of that flag, in between the big pine tree in the back and that bunker. On the green. Not too bad. I got a chance. Now I've got to go up there and just execute properly on the green, and I should be able to walk out of here a happy man. Well, the dreaded fairway bunker shot. It doesn't matter if you're the Masters champion Angel Cabrera or if you're Joe Blow from Kokomo, you don't like this shot. No one does. The reason people struggle in this area of the golf course is simply because there's way too much movement, the swing is way too hard, and honestly, there's just too much of a panic factor here. So I'm sitting here in this bunker on the 18th hole here at Kings North, and as you can see, I had a pretty good choice of which one to try to hit it into because there's about 20 on here. I'm 125 yards. I've got a wide open shot to the green. The lake and the pond is really not in the way. 125 yards would be just a nice smooth pitching wedge. But being in the bunker, I'm going to try to stabilize my lower body more so that I can have a consistent angle of attack. So I'm going to take a 9-iron, all right? I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to take this 9-iron and I'm going to set up very similar to what we did in the bunker itself when we hit the bunker shot up the big wall. But what I want you to do is when you get in here, you're going to have more of a square stance like a normal shot, but you're going to do the same. You're going to put wide knees, okay? We're going to have the knees over the shoelaces, not buckled in. The key to this is so that when we go back, my lower body, you see how stable it is. There's not a lot of leg movement going on because obviously out of the sand, I want to hit ball first. So by using a 9-iron, I'm taking a little more club so that I can swing smoother and I can be able to have a better contact with this golf ball because my main objective is to get it on that green, try to make par here and get out, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my setup like we talked about. I'm going to square stance, my knees are going to be wide, and I'm going to slightly put my weight left. I mean, I'm not going to go as much as I did in the bunker itself, but just a little more there so it'll help me stabilize my lower body. I'm going to choke up on the 9-iron, almost down to the steel, so you can see right here how far I've choked down. I'm not way back up here. I'm not trying to hit a full shot, so I'm going to choke down. It's going to allow me to steepen my plane to be able to catch the ball first, okay? With that being said, remember, wide knees, little weight left, choke down, nice and smooth. Ball's in the middle of the green. I have a chance to make a long putt for a birdie, but I've given myself a great opportunity to create a par.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by the Waccamaw Golf Trail. 12 spectacular golf courses designed by the world's most celebrated architects. Located just south of Myrtle Beach, the Waccamaw Golf Trail is a journey through historic plantations, natural beauty, and southern hospitality.
Right here on the putting green, and I want you to pay attention to these two drills that we're going to show you. I've got two of my students here, Anthony Caruso and Kevin Schassler, and we're going to do what we call the gate drill here that you see in front of us. We've got the ladder drill over here. So Kevin, set up here for me, and what we're going to do, we've set these tees up so that the ball will go, the putter head will go between these two tees, the ball will go between this gate and then between this gate, so that it goes into the hole. This helps frame the putt, helps you feel the line, and helps you to see how your ball rolls. So go right ahead, Kevin, hit us one here. And you can see it doesn't hit any tees, goes right through the gate and right in the hole. Now this one, Anthony, come set up here for me. We start them out at 3 feet, we go to 6 feet, and then we go to 9 feet. The key here is he's got 3 balls. He's got to make 3 in a row before he can move back to the next set of tees. Go ahead, Anthony, and see if you can make this one. Boom. So he's going to make 2 more, and then he can move to the next one. But if he moves to 6 feet and he misses, guess what? He gets to start all over again. So these two drills will help you, number one, from a technical standpoint and being able to feel and visualize the line better. This one here is more of a competition type drill to where you've got to accomplish a goal to be able to move on to the next level. Try these and I assure you, you'll putt better. Now this portion of the show, this is about where you check your ego and let's do some course management and let's think about what's going on here, okay? We're on the 3rd hole here at Kings North. This is your perfect example of risk reward, okay? The green is over here to the left. You can see the big pine tree, the green's behind there. It's about 300 yards to the front of the green, 312 to the flag. Or I can go to the fairway over here to the right with my hybrid and hit it some 225, 30 yards. This is where, like I said, you check your ego and understand that if you go left over here with a driver, you better be pretty accurate and have some fairly good length to be able to pull this off. So the percentage play is to take the hybrid, hit it out here to the right, put it in the fairway, and then it allows you to hit a short iron onto the green. So it's a matter of, do I take the chance to knock it over to be able to try to chip it on the green, or hit it in the water, make double, triple, or, you know, the dreaded Bo Derek, a 10, okay? So let's try to be smart and play to your strengths. That's the whole key here. Don't just do something because it's the cool thing to do. So we're gonna take the hybrid, I'm gonna aim over here to the right, nice and smooth, and just put this ball out there in the fairway. Perfect. Now I've given myself that opportunity to be able to score because I've got my scoring clubs in my hand, my wedges, and it gives me the opportunity to hit it close and try to make a birdie, or at worst, to make a par. So when you get to a hole like this, don't let your buddies talk you into doing something that you really don't want to do. Play smart, point A to point B, and see how you can do from there. Look at this situation. Left of the green, bunkers, downslope of the fringe, the green, mounds, pretty much dead, right? Well, not necessarily. This right here, too many people will try to bounce it down the fringe or try to hit a flop shot that'll land on the fringe, and as you can see with that slope, it's gonna throw it straight left. This shot right here literally has to fly onto the green just slightly right of the flag. So we're gonna put a lot of air underneath this ball, and it's gonna take a lot of nerve to be able to pull this off. I mean, we see Phil Mickelson do it all the time. It's not that hard of a shot if you can practice and get comfortable with what you have to do to produce the result that you'd like to see. By standing up here, I'm gonna take basically the same stance I took in the bunker. I'm gonna open my feet, I'm aimed well left. You can see I've opened the face considerably. My knees are wide, my weight is left 60-40. I've actually moved a little further away from the ball as opposed to being here. I've moved away so that my hands can get lower, and the club is gonna go steep to steep. This is just like a bunker shot. You're just gonna hit a blast shot from the grass. And it's one of those you've got to allow the bounce on your sand wedge or your lob wedge to work. This is not about the hands. It's not about leg movement. This is about a stable lower body, setting left, 60-40, hinging the club straight up and allowing that heel to be the first thing that hits the ground. That hits the ground, the club will bounce and the ball will go straight up in the air. Now, too many people ask, well, how do you control the distance? It's very simple. You control the distance by the speed you swing your arms. Not how hard you hit at it with your hands, but how fast you swing your arms. So, with that being said, let's see what happens. So as you can see, It's the old saying that you hear me say all the time. It's landing like a butterfly with sore feet. You want that thing to hit soft. You don't want it running away from you. You practice and trust this technique. I promise you, you can do that every time.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by teeuptomorrow.com. Log on today and tee up tomorrow.
As you've seen, the North Course here at Myrtle Beach National gives you many different options as well as looks to consider. I hope that my course management suggestions make sense and will help you to lower your scores as well as your handicap. Remember, don't just play the round of golf, think your way around and watch your scores get lower. So until next time, remember, fairways, greens, and one putts right here on Links Illustrated.